This is really the best award I could win. I'd like to thank all of you guys, not just for being the best staff I've worked with, but also being the best friends I could ask for. Because of you, every day I come into work, I feel like a true winner.
Let my success today lift you up so that you too can do great, hard things. And after you, more people.
Regular show Season 7 slander will not be tolerated. Yes, the season has its faults, but I cannot fathom people putting regular show Season 7 at the bottom of their tier lists. It just doesn't really make sense to me, so today I'm going to be taking you through the good and the bad of regular show Season 7 and proving to you that it is the most underrated regular show season. And if you like content just like this, please make sure to like and subscribe. At 30k, I'm going to be cosplaying as Muscle Man and doing a hot dog eating contest. And if you want a place where you can hang out, talk about your favorite cartoons, movies, games, shows, my Discord will be in the description. Now let's get that video started. Since this world just seems to love hatred and negativity, it would only seem fair to start off with the things that I hate about this season, and that just comes down to 4 simple episodes. The first one being cat videos. There is something just so undeniably wrong about the episode cat videos. It genuinely feels like a weird fetish that somebody has. I don't know, it's just so odd. Benson gets addicted to cat videos, and then he goes to the studio where he gets kidnapped, and there's just all these weird phrases that make it feel really fetishy to me. I don't know, like Benson is like refusing to bat this mouse when Masterson is trying to get Benson to act like a cat, and he's just like, oh, do we got a diva? We got a diva. Bat the mouse. It's
Do we have a diva on our hands here?
I think we have a diva.
Bat the mouse! Bat the mouse!
very weird and it feels very off to me. The entire episode is just so odd. I just can't get behind it. And even the moments where you're supposed to laugh, supposed to be having a good time, like when Mordecai and Rigby also get turned into cats and go to save Benson, it just still doesn't feel right. And it just, I just can't get behind that episode ever. And then we also have the episode Lame Lockdown, which really is just very boring. The episode follows Mordecai and Rigby sneaking out of the house to go and see a rock band, and they interview them, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the entire thing. Benson just is all like, oh, where's Mordecai and Rigby? I'm gonna get angry. Just nothing too crazy happens. The episode just feels kind of like it's one of the overarching plot episodes, because the main point of the episode is all the way at the end when Benson finally tells off Dr. Langer, one of the main villains of that season, and I just don't care for it. I really like the episodes that aren't focusing on the overarching plot because it feels a lot more like regular show. I'm just glad that there aren't too many of those this season, and the ones that there are, it's usually a pretty decent episode, so I'm not necessarily going to complain about it. And then we have a truly horrible, awful episode, and that is the episode The Return of Party Horse. I cannot get behind why this episode exists. Why do we need Party Horse again? Even though I will always say he is the greatest written character in all of fiction. Oh, Party Horse! Oh my god! God, he makes me want to shed a tear every single time I see him. He's just such a jolly good show. God, I love Party Horse. You know who else wants only seasons with Party Horse? Yeah, I do. But either way, Party Horse comes back to the planet. Does absolutely nothing other than cry about his ex-girlfriend, and then they go to Party Horse Planet to get all of his party out, and you would think we would get some really cool scenes showing them actually partying, because it's Party Horse Planet. We want to see some anthropomorphic horses just dancing it up, going but no. They go door to door, knocking on the door, and then it's like, welcome to the colonial party. Welcome to the shitting your pants party, dude. Welcome. Poopy pants, man. Get in here. But they don't actually show any of the partying. It's just them going to like 3 different houses and saying that they're partying. And then the end of the episode is Party Horse going to a party where he gets tricked and all of his party juice gets sucked out. And then he takes his party juice and turns it down a notch to get back with his girlfriend. I don't care. I don't care about Party Horse's love life. I really don't. Give me an Eileen and Rigby episode instead of this one and we're golden, because I did not need an episode to increase my ever-vasting love for Party Horse. And then there's just one more episode that I really don't like this season. Everything else is either just okay or just right above that as being good or fantastic. There's really not any other bad episodes this season, but the one that I'm going to pinpoint is Local News Legend. And this episode would honestly be a lot better if Margaret had a way better story to tell within the show. You cannot give me a episode all about Margaret after the season that she just had. Even upon rewatch, if you're rewatching and you watch season 6, and you watch Mordecai and Margaret kiss each other at the Christmas party, you're obviously not going to like Margaret as much anymore, and then you have to watch Margaret lie the rest of the season, just kind of be insufferable the rest of the season. There's just nothing to really like about her. She doesn't even have a character at this point. She was always a shallow romantic interest. That's how she was written in the show. Although I am one of the people that will advocate that I wish she was written better, it doesn't make me like her character. A lot of people will say that, well, that's just the way she was written, so you should just enjoy her character. No. I'm not going to randomly enjoy her character when in season 7, they're all like, well, I guess it's about time Margaret gets the bad guy, and we have to watch her try to get her own news segment. I just don't care for it, because the past 6 seasons have given me no reason whatsoever to care about Margaret's character in any shape or form. So of course, I'm not going to give a shit about Margaret trying to become a news reporter and get her own weekly segment. Does not matter to me, even in the slightest. And overall, it's just a boring episode in general. It's just Margaret trying to get the bad guy. It's just boring. Just not about it. But that's the only thing that is downright ugly about season 7. I think everything else I'm going to discuss is either going to be on more of the positive side or maybe just on the meh side. But I still think season 7 is very good for these 4 faults. 4 out of 28 episodes. That's not horrible, you know? And it's not like these episodes are unwatchable. It's just I personally would never watch them again. Now let's actually analyze another big complaint of this season, and that is the fact that the majority of the season takes place inside of the dome. A lot of people say that it impacts the plot a lot, it impacts a lot of episodes, because now you're stuck in a dome and you're limited, but I don't think this even remotely compares to being stuck in space in terms of regular show. Regular show is all about being anything but regular. You're supposed to have this plot as simple as wanting a sandwich turn into you fighting a giant monster. That is the entire point. But does the dome limit that in any way? Well, let's just take a look at a couple of episodes that are focused around the dome and see if they're even bad to begin with, to see if they're actually affecting how good season 7 can be. I think a lot of people dislike season 7 solely because they don't like that it's focusing on developing its characters a little bit more, and of course they're like foreshadowing the finale, so they're just preparing for that a little bit. I think that's what people don't like, but I still think the episodes that are mainly all focused on the dome are still pretty decent, starting off with the dome special, obviously, which I think is a hilarious special, and it focuses on Benson, so it gives us a lot of Benson epic moments that are pretty good, pretty decent.
No, Mallard. You tell us what this was all for. You tell us right now. Tell us!
We get a couple of character changes, like High Five Ghost becomes the de facto leader and is leading everybody while Benson is going crazy because the dome is on top. Benson goes out into the wilderness to try to prove that they lied about his email. It's just pretty decent. I enjoy it. Benson grows hair, he becomes a badass, he befriends a bird, he helps them all to escape the dome and get away, even though there's all these weird experiments going on and Benson could have learned a lot of lore, a lot of foreshadowing, but he was so focused on his email. That's the joke of it all. It's all just foreshadowing what's going on in season 8, which I actually think is pretty decent and a lot of fun just looking back to see all of their little hints, all of their little details to the fact that we were eventually going to space. The majority of people could guess it at that point, and I think the dome experiment was a good place to start. I think that was a great special and didn't ruin season 7 at all. And then we get to episodes like The Button, which is kind of a weird episode. It's mainly just focusing on Benson just, you know, dealing with his trauma from being in the dome and struggling with hallucinations and stuff. This episode is just okay. It's just the thought that, oh, if you press the button, then something bad is going to happen. We get to watch all the park members torture a random poor park guy with Muscle Man's shirt.
Oh no!
You've been watching us, so you know exactly how long it's been since he's washed that.
And then we get to eventually see Benson hallucinating, talking to the button.
Benson, we're your friends! If you push that button, Mailer's gonna...
What?
And eventually trusting everybody else over his hallucinations and not pressing that button. So now it's just a looming threat for the rest of the season. This episode is definitely more focused on the overarching story, but I still don't think it's even that bad. I kind of like seeing where Benson's head is at after experiencing all of the dome and being alone for weeks in the wilderness and not really being able to trust anybody. I still think this episode is very decent, but it's just, like, I could take it or leave it. Like, did I need this? Is the foreshadowing cool? Yes, but did I need this? Not really, but I still don't think it hinders the season from being good. And then we have episodes like Pam I Am. Wow, this season is really Benson focused, and there's even more Benson episodes that I need to talk about later. Pam I Am, where Benson actually forms a relationship. He goes to get wings for Pam, and then he's like, this is the most important decision of my life, while he's just yelling at a poor mother and her daughter.
Wings, buddy.
Just wings? These wings might decide whether or not I get to go out with the girl of my dreams. Everything has to be perfect!
And then Benson sneaks all the way into the Dome Labs to hang out with Pam. They fall in love. They eat them wings. It's just good for Benson. Good stuff for Benson. D's Keys is another great Dome-related episode where Mordecai and Rigby accidentally throw Benson's keys through a window, and they have to get help from the Dome people to sneak in there. Rigby has his, like, weird dental chompers in his mouth.
Ugh, they're freaking me out.
Well, get used to it, pal. This is how I look now. I look cool.
There's a lot of funny episodes and a lot of funny scenes within the Dome within this season. So a lot of people saying that the Dome is a hindrance to this season, I could see kind of why, because there's a lot of focus on it, but I still think these episodes are decent enough to keep it up as a good season compared to like season 8, where you have all of these episodes like Lost and Found, Brain of Evil, Can You Ear Me Now, which are just hindrances to the overarching plot and don't add anything. So would you rather have really mediocre episodes that are getting in the way of an overarching plot, or just have really good, decent episodes that contribute to the plot still, but are just still feeling like classic regular show, just kind of in the limits of a Dome? I still think the Dome was very decent overall. I do prefer a normal regular show, but I wouldn't call the Dome a hindrance to how the season performed. You know who else likes to complain that this season doesn't feel like classic regular show? A lot of the fan base. They say, oh, well, because it's in a dome, it doesn't really feel like regular show. So I picked out 5 episodes that definitely do feel exactly like classic regular show, and if you slotted them in to season 3 or season 4, you wouldn't even bat an eye because it just feels that natural. Episodes like Sleep Cycle. It has that classic regular show formula that you could need. Okay, simple premise at the beginning. Mordecai and Rigby are watching Morales and McCready for 3 days in a row, staying up all night, going to sleep during the day, and just watching it all-nighter, just watching it non-stop. They're enjoying themselves until eventually it's Monday morning and they realize they made a horrible, awful mistake.
Looks like some guys I know are excited for the Monday morning meeting.
What? Monday?
And now they can't stay awake during the day, but they can only stay awake during the night, and they try everything they possibly can, but nothing is working. So they have to get the help from Skips, and he's all like, I've seen this before. Is this feeling like classic regular show or what? And so they go to the Sentinels of Sleep all the way out in space, getting help from Gary, which is just great. Gotta love seeing Gary every now and then. And so they just progress the story. We eventually meet Coco, and Rigby doesn't think the name Coco is real, so he laughs at him. And they put him on this game, kind of like Mario Kart, where you have to chase the sun, which I think is really fun. They're just like riding their bikes down this game, just having a great time, chasing that sun. The fear of death is always looming, and they eventually catch him, and they're able to reset their sleep cycles. And it's just a really good episode. It definitely feels like classic regular show, at least to me, or a plot that could fit into the much earlier seasons. So I don't think season 7 being in a dome had any hindrance to this feeling like a classic regular show episode. And then you also have episodes like VIP Members Only, which is just, you know, that great formula of let's put Mordecai and Rigby with Muscleman and High Five Ghost and make a little bit of magic happen. They go to Cheezer's and they see the pork picnic sandwich, and golly good, oh jolly good show, it just looks so damn delicious that they have to become VIP members. So they start off just by cleaning Cheezer's, doing everything this lady is saying, everything that she is ordering, until eventually She leaves, and this weird astronaut comes out and tells them to return at 3 a.m. or whatever to become a true VIP member, and they have to fight this giant orange monster in this pit where a bunch of dead astronauts are, and they're able to do it. And what I like the most about this episode, unlike episodes like Every Meat Burrito or Best Burgers in the World that focus on a food, they actually get to eat that food, and just at the end of it, they're just sitting there like, yeah, that probably wasn't. Sorry, that was really funny. I'm just so hilarious. What can I say? But yeah, it's a really good episode. I love it. It's everything I could possibly need. And then we go to episodes like Snow Tubing, which is a Eileen episode. So that's always exciting. It's always exciting when a character who has been developed well throughout the entire series actually gets an episode to show that appreciation. And Eileen definitely deserved that. And Snow Tubing is a pretty decent episode, focusing on how Eileen is really afraid of snow tubing. So she keeps on trying to sabotage them over and over and over again. That's her entire goal. And as the episode progresses on, they eventually get closer and closer to having to snow tube. And when they get all the way up to the top of the mountain, she confesses, and she got this nasty scar. The inertia worked against us.
The inertia worked against us. The cold air felt like death on my face.
I think that scene where she is just floating up in the air, just like spinning when she's a baby, is really funny. But either way, her and Rigby are now stuck on top of a mountain. It's getting dark, and the only way down is for them to snow tube down. And I think this entire sequence at the end, where they're just snow tubing down, the double black diamond just dodging everything, dodging bears, going through tunnels, it's really cool, and it feels great.
Grizzly bear!
And it's a great progression episode for Rigby and Eileen. I enjoy it, but it still feels like classic regular show, and is still advancing and giving an interesting character like Eileen a lot more to do, so I can appreciate that episode. And then we have episodes like Donut Factory Holiday, which again, they really just love to make Mordecai, Rigby, Muscleman, and High Five Ghost hang out, but this time it's in a much funnier way with the VCR tape of Donut Factory Holiday getting stuck inside of the VCR, and Rigby puts his hand in there and it gets stuck. And so they try everything to get him out. They throw him into a wall. They just hurt him so much. They go all the way to Eileen's work, and I love this scene so much where they're like running in like, Rigby needs your help, Rigby needs your help, you know who else is dying, Eileen, you gotta save him. And Eileen's like, what's wrong? And then just stares at his arm that is stuck in a VCR and is like, oh, I love that scene so much.
No time to explain.
Is he hurt? What? Oh.
And then the episode just continues on where they go to this shop to try and get it off, and it's this guy that apparently is really in love with Mordecai's mom. So just the entire time he's like, hey Mordecai, how's your mom? Is she doing good? Is she doing all right? Does she need some company?
Did you know Mordecai's mom and I used to date? Until that fateful night. The rain started to fall when...
I just think that guy's really funny. He's just great. Adds a lot to the episode. And then eventually there's like this video hunter guy who starts trying to chase them down, and he dies in a really hilarious way where a grenade like bounces back at him, blows up his bike, and then he falls in this trash bin, and then the trash truck picks him up, and then the trash truck blows up for some random unknowing reason, but still really hilarious. And they eventually get the tape off. I mean, the VCR off. Good stuff. I'm all for it. It was hilarious. Really good episode. Feels like classic regular show. And if you need one more episode to prove to you that this season isn't being hindered by being in a dome and they were still delivering really good episodes, California King is a really good episode. I love Ziggy. It's a Ziggy Stardust, David Bowie reference. It's great. He's the villain for the episode. Rigby accidentally throws away Trampy, or well, on purpose, and then realizes he wants it back, and he has to go to the dump, and they have to do all these trials in the dump. I enjoyed all of those scenes a lot. I think they were great. And then you eventually get to this big climactic battle with Rigby going up against Ziggy. Ziggy makes everything on fire, and they have to jump on trampolines to get to a finish line, and Rigby just becomes like an alpha monster ultimate guy. I don't know how you would describe him. He's just doing things you would never think possible. He is literally beating Ziggy, who has magic and is able to move things with fire. Rigby is jumping through the fire, doing everything he possibly can, until he eventually gets to that end and gets the trampoline. It's just good, it's wholesome, it's great, and these are the episodes that truly feel like classic regular show in this season. Now, if you're looking for episodes that are truly a jolly good show, just above anything else, even above just feeling like classic regular show, just some of the best that regular show has to offer, then season 7 has 5 episodes that I could give you that are truly just perfect. And I'm going to start off with the episode, The Parky Awards. I love Benson appreciation episodes because I think if any character deserves it, it is definitely Benson. And this episode just does it so right in so many ways. The beginning of this episode, Benson loses Park Manager of the Year, so everybody takes him out on a night on the town to have one of the best nights of his life to just show appreciation for him. And they just go around. Rigby stole Gene's trophy just without hesitation, without any thought. He stole it right away just to try to give Benson that good of a night. Not without anybody telling him to do that. Rigby was just like, screw this guy. We're gonna have a great night. And I love that. They eventually go back to the Park Manager Year Awards studio area so that Benson can give a speech. There's a bunch of shenanigans with a bunch of ghosts, and Gene eventually does return and takes his award away anyway. So Benson is a little bit crushed, but everybody comes together and they use some paper mache, some paper, to make their own version of the award so that Benson can give his speech.
This is really the best award I could win. I'd like to thank all of you guys, not just for being the best staff I've worked with, but also being the best friends I could ask for. Because of you, every day I come into work, I feel like a true winner.
And I think his speech is genuinely just one of the most wholesome moments in regular show, just saying thank you to everybody for not just being his workers, but the best friends that he could ever ask for. It's just so wholesome. And if you're a fan of regular show and you've been watching the entire show and you finally get to this episode, or even upon rewatch, there's just something so meaningful about it. Just when you actually connect all these characters and these characters make you laugh, you care about their character arcs, and you just enjoy the series overall. This episode is very wholesome and definitely one of the best the regular show has to offer. And then if you want another episode, you could look at Lunch Club. The Lunch Club is just such a good episode. It's obviously a parody of Breakfast Club, but they just do it so much justice. They just do it so well. With the beginning of this episode, Rigby literally destroying a $1 million sheet cake because he falls asleep on top of a lawnmower. That is the most Rigby thing that could ever happen, but I still enjoy it nonetheless. So Benson and Rigby get locked in this room together, and Rigby, he just can't stand this, so he gets a backpack. He gets some, it has some wings in it, and Rigby is gonna eat them cold, and Benson just cannot stand that. He does not like that, so they have to sneak into the vents to try and eat these wings, but Benson needs them to be warm. And I love the scene so much where Benson is just going, microwave wings, microwave wings.
Microwave wings, microwave wings. This is Benson's recipe for microwave wings.
It's just a lot of fun. I enjoy it. And so he makes the microwave wings, narrowly avoiding Mr. Maillard. They go up to the room, and they just actually start bonding and becoming friends. And going into season 7, I would never really say that Rigby and Benson are friends. I would definitely say that their friendship has gotten better, but it never actually felt like they were truly friends until this episode, where they're just having a great time. They're dancing it up. They're forming the lunch club. They're just enjoying themselves, and then they're just laying on the floor talking about their anxieties, their insecurities, what they're worried about in their future, their past, how Rigby acts like a clown because that's all he was ever expected to be, especially by his father.
Just go back to being a screw-up, Rigby. I don't even understand half the reasons I do the things I do. I'm expected to be a clown, so I'm a clown. But clowns cry too, man. Clowns cry too.
And Benson just feels the same exact way about his father, but in terms of drumming, how he just gave his entire life to being a drummer, and his dad laughed at him, and then it all failed. So what was it all for?
What if they stop making that gum I like? This recurring nightmare where I'm flailing in a futureless void. My father's there. He's laughing at me.
It's just a great scene for the both of them, and just that letter at the end where they both tell Mr. Maillard to go screw himself is just so good. And just definitely one of the best episodes for Rigby and for Benson. I just love it so much. And then if you want me to point out just entire episodes, an entire overreaching arc that was perfect, you can look no further than Rigby's graduation arc. It is just the pinnacle of what I needed in regular show. Excuse me. The fact that you could have a character like Rigby who was so problematic in the first few seasons, have this just so impressively written arc where he becomes one of the best characters in the entire show, a character who is still hilarious, a character who could still cause problems, but a character that is overall a decent boyfriend, a decent friend, and a character that you could slowly begin to respect. It's just really good. With episodes like the Eileen plan, where Rigby has the realization that he needs to go back to high school to prove to Eileen that he is worthy of her. And at the end of the episode, after Eileen confronts him because Rigby was lying to Eileen about what he was doing, they have a great heart-to-heart where Rigby confesses that he's going back to high school for her, and Eileen says, I don't need a genius, and then Rigby is the one to save them and get them out of that cave.
Here we go.
Wow, it's
Gorgeous.
It is a very good moment, and then just all of the episodes where Rigby continues this journey is really good. Jablonski, where he beats Jablonski in a food run, in a race, and ultimately crushes all the beef he had with his former high school bully.
Man, high school was a long time ago. You gotta get past the glory days and move on with your life. Focus on the now.
You're right.
A great episode. Hello China is another phenomenal episode for Rigby and for Benson, where they both go to China so that Rigby can learn English and Benson can teach English. It's a great episode. Rigby in that episode, he goes the extra distance to make sure that Benson looks good at the end of the year performance, helping everybody to pull a all-nighter and deliver just one of the best songs in the series, where they're just rapping about, Dear Benson, here's a letter in which we bust out.
History, you see, is study only for a test. No biggie, but like a music, no, we need a rest. Slang is I, my straight up chillin', swag is killin', street talk and it's tight.
So dear Benson.
It's just really good. It's a very wholesome episode, and it's overall just really good. Rigby goes to prom, where Rigby is able to fix the relationship with his father and finally prove that he is becoming a better person, that he is maturing, and that he is worthy of his father's trust.
Maybe you have changed, so, I guess you can borrow the car whenever you want.
Thanks, Dad.
It's overall just really good. It's a hilarious episode. It's everything you can need. And of course, Rigby's graduation day special, where it all culminates, where Rigby gives his big speech to America. Everybody loves it. Everybody's dancing. Everybody's having a good time. And it's just such a great moment for Rigby.
Let my success today lift you up so that you too can do great, hard things. And after you, more people.
It feels good, it feels complete, and it feels like Rigby definitely has one of the best character arcs in the entire show. It was written so well. And if I was just to point out one singular more episode to showcase to you that Season 7 is really good, you could look no further than Gary Synthesizer, one of the best side character episodes in the entire series. It's just undoubtedly perfect. Gary gets taken away because Mordecai and Rigby mess with his synthesizer, so he literally just fades out of existence. They have to go to the planet Synthos to try to get him back. David, the evil king there, just won't let this happen, so it leads to Mordecai and Rigby rushing, trying to get it right, trying to get Gary back. They're able to do it, and then we get Gary versus David in the most epic battle in the entire series, where Gary is using his synth, David is using his keyboard, and they're just fighting each other using the power of music. When the music combines just in the air, the visuals are stunning. Everything about it is perfect, and it delivers one of the best episodes that regular show has to offer. It is just so unbelievably perfect, and I wouldn't change it at all. Just those are some of the best episodes of Season 7 for sure. I truly do think that Season 7 just gets a bad rap. I didn't even mention all the other episodes that I think are good, like Birthday Gift, Marvolo the Wizard, Guys Night 2. I could always go on and just talk your ear off about regular show all the time, but my main goal here is just to try to get you to think about Season 7 a little bit differently. And if you don't, if you have a reason for why you hate Season 7 so much, I guarantee you a lot of people are just going to comment, well, it feels like they were running out of ideas. It doesn't feel that way to me. It just feels like classic regular show, like they were having a good time trying to tell a good story, and it just made for a decent season for me. But I would love to hear down in the comments below what you hate about this season, why you hate this season, or if there's any other Season 7 defenders. I would love to hear what you love about this season, because overall I still think it's pretty good, and I think regular show has a lot worse to offer, so I just don't get the Season 7 hate. But I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.